Hey guys, so I'm sorry about my voice. I've been coughing so much lately that my throat is trashed. I can't even talk properly. It kind of goes away after I talk for a little while, so we'll see. Remember how I was talking about vet school a couple of videos ago? Well, it turns out that I got rejection letters from Michigan and Washington, and then I ended up getting interviews at Purdue in Indiana and Davis here in Davis. I was really excited about the interview in Purdue. I received that notification about a month and a half before the one in Davis. And for those of you that don't follow the vet school circuit, which I'm sure is most people, vet school is very competitive. There's usually between 60 and 120 spots available, and there's anywhere between 1,500 and 3,000 people applying for it. And then they usually interview 2 to 5 times as many people as they will accept into the class. So it's a very, very competitive field. I ended up accepting the interview in Purdue. It's exciting. My first interview I was going to ever do for vet school. Yeah, see, my voice is getting a little better. I booked my ticket. I hate flying, so I booked my ticket, got on a plane, got there, and it turns out I had forgotten the cable for my video camera, so I took all the footage with my phone. Now granted, the footage wasn't that bad, but still.
Hopefully this video isn't too shitty. I'm sure it really, really is, but we'll see.
Yeah, wishful thinking there, Emily. Huh. Now, the first thing I noticed when I got off the plane, and something I noticed very often thereafter, was...
That's how freaking cold it is. So cold. It's that cold.
Oh my god, it was freezing so cold. I'm from California, Northern California. We have cold times. I've been in weather that's below 0 Celsius. I've been in weather that was in the teens Fahrenheit. I've been in weather that was below 0 Fahrenheit. This was like nothing I've ever experienced before. It was so cold. And apparently this is one of the coldest spells they've had in Indiana in a long time. My flight out barely beat a blizzard into the air. Just to explain why I complained about it so much. It was so cold. And I brought appropriate clothing and everything. So anyway, first things first, I get into the airport, I get off the plane, I'm walking through the airport, and it was in the Indianapolis airport. On the ceiling they have these light shows. I'm not really sure why they were there. Was it to help you forget that you're in Indiana? Now, because my flight was delayed going out because of the weather, I ended up arriving in Indiana at 2 in the morning. And you can kind of tell that my spirit for the interview was a little dampened at this point, simply because it was 2 in the morning. I had to go and get ready for the interviews. They all started at 7 o'clock in the morning. Everybody had to show up 7 o'clock in the morning at the vet school. So my spirits were a little dampened. Plus I knew that I already had to go find a car. I'd made rental car arrangements ahead of time and drive an hour and a half to Purdue, which is about an hour and a half away from Indianapolis airport. So I went off to get a car. If you hear a reiteration of how cold it is, just please realize it was life-threateningly cold. It was so cold.
Rather unfortunately, I forgot my charger for my freaking camera, so that's how freaking cold it is. Oh my god. It's so cold here. But I made it. This is my car, my rental car, in U5. So I guess this is it. Okay.
So I got my car, which was a great car, and they actually provided me one of those giant ice scraper things for the windshield in the back. Thank you, budget. I love you. I used it every single time I got into the car. It was so nice not to be scraping out there with my half a credit card. So I got into the car and I start to drive. Now it turns out all of the roads outside of Indianapolis are undergoing some sort of renovation. None of the exits that were supposed to be there were there. Thank God for my phone, because I managed to use that to kind of navigate around through back roads. But you know, here's the thing, I was still a little sore because of that whole, cold winter thing that was going on in Indiana.
There's snow. There's freaking snow!
So I finally made it to the hotel where, guess what? It was really cold.
Anyway, before too much longer, I'm gonna go get into the hotel because I'm freezing my ass off, and apparently that's my best asset. Haha.
I checked into the hotel, and by this point I think it was about 3:30 in the morning, sorry about that. and I realized that I needed a few things, conditioner, I needed to sew up the hem on my pants that had fallen down, things like that. So I decided to head out to a little 24/7 store, I forget what time it was. It was really early in the morning at this point.
It's about 4 in the morning here and I'm still not asleep, haha. But I just wanted to look at that. Those are icicles. There's icicles. Giant icicles. It's all buildings like now. Look at that. It's all really cool old buildings, and I love this little flower shop. Like, just random little flower shop in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, so I'm kind of nervous about my interview, of course. I don't know. I think it's kind of one of those things where I feel like I'm going to do well and then I'm going to totally flunk it. So we'll see. I don't know why, but this hotel strikes me as vaguely creepy. It's all twists and turns, and I'm at the very end of the hallway. That could be part of it. It's about 4:30 in the morning as well. That probably doesn't help. But this is the Union Hill Club. It's supposedly within walking distance of Purdue, but it's so cold. I think I'm gonna walk or drive. Plus, heels. This is my room. 438 room.
By the time I got back, it was about 5 in the morning. I knew that I had to get up at 6:30 and need to be over there for check-in around 7. So I decided just to go ahead and get dressed and get in my suit, which, here's my suit. I actually really liked this suit. And then I got ready to go outside in my suit, which was exciting.
As you can see, I'm ready to interview, minus the shoes, of course. And I'm on my way walking. This is not my interview outfit. This is my, oh God, can I make it to the interview outfit without freezing? So, wish me luck.
So I didn't end up filming during the day while I had the interview and kind of wandered around talking to everyone because I didn't want to jinx my chances for the interview in case there were spies. Don't laugh, it's possible, it's vet school. But what I did end up filming was I found one of the SPET students and he was talking to us, and I filmed him as sort of an example of the local dialect of Indiana.
Let's see here. I was in Breezeway. I'm going to duck out here and make sure there's no exams going on. But there's 3 treatment rooms.
He was actually really nice. I really liked him. He answered a lot of questions I had, but it just took him a while to say everything, which I think is just a Midwest thing. They don't speak very fast. They like to think about things. It's interesting. So, turns out Purdue is actually really inviting looking during the day. It's just a nice place. Lots of brick buildings. I saw sorority and fraternity houses that were just mansions. I think some of my classrooms, the actual buildings that my classrooms were in here at Davis would have fit inside a fraternity house.
This is what it looks like in the daylight.
So I hadn't mentioned this yet, but me and one other student were the only ones that didn't have a parent, a grandparent, or a significant other along, which is not something I knew about vet school interviews. Apparently everyone brings backup or emergency help. I'm not sure what they were there for. Anyway, so me and this other student, this guy, spent a lot of time together so we didn't feel like grad school orphans of some kind. So that night when we went to the banquet, I ended up sitting with him and a couple other people, and it was really nice. Just the school and the vet school there was so friendly, almost creepily friendly in a Midwestern, we want to invite you into our family sort of way. I think it's just I have a bubble and they don't. I'm not sure. It was interesting. But the next morning, that night, I couldn't sleep at all. I'm not sure why. So I had to get up the next morning at 4 and leave because I had a flight at 6 in the morning.
Alright, say goodbye to at least the Union Hill Hotel, at least for now. Maybe I'll come back, maybe, but for now, goodbye Purdue. Goodbye freakish snow.
By this point, I was starting to get really tired, but since I couldn't have sleep the night before, this is where footage starts to get pretty funny.
So today is the morning that I'm leaving Indiana, leaving Purdue. I'm waiting for the car to warm up right now. I just had to do some judicious repacking. I hope in this light you can't see the bags under my eyes because they're amazing. There's 3 of them, in fact, at this point. I think this is almost a new record for me as far as sleeplessness goes. I've gotten 4 hours of sleep. I counted it. 4 hours of sleep in the last 3 days, plus I've had 4 airplane flights, plus I've had being in heels for 8 hours, plus I had an interview. So I think this is definitely, you know, right up there when it comes to stress. Luckily my interview was nice and easy. That helped. My brain's not really working. I have been strong and not had any coffee to drink. Oh, I'm going to the airport. Yep. Which is cool. I even did the whole, like, check-in with the phone thingy, because there is no printer. Okay, I should go now. Bye. This car is really hard to, drive and stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to the airport. I'm going to the airport to get on a plane and go home and go to work. Woohoo! It's 4 in the morning! Woo! 4 in the morning! Ow! Yeah.
After another 2 plane flights home, and again, like I said, my plane barely made it out of there before the blizzard. I was a little scared. I hate flying anyway, and it was very turbulent on the way home. I ended up finally making it back to Sacramento, made it home.
So I made it home, back to Sacramento.
So it turns out Purdue accepted me, which is really exciting. It means I'm going to vet school next year, whether, you know, wherever I go. And after my interview at Davis, Davis accepted me too. So now I have to decide. I just found out about Davis yesterday. I really liked both schools. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'll let you guys know when I end up deciding. And I promise this will be the last vlog I make for a little while. I'm so sorry that I haven't put out one of my usual videos, but I'm finally caught up on all the footage I did in Hawaii and then the Purdue interview. So back to normal. Bye guys.